Hi there. In this quick video we'll be taking a look at this AKAI car radio player, and this is the model number. From start I want to mention I'm not going to be using this inside any car. It will be actually radio, music, USB, Bluetooth player for my daughter's room. We got this for some points from a card, so we didn't pay really anything for it, and decided this was a good purchase on that points instead of getting any other stupid things. Any info about it right here. So it's 4 times 25 watts. We'll be using it only in stereo mode. Bluetooth frequency, obviously 12 volt. App operation. Okay. Smart Bluetooth iPlug. Okay, we'll be downloading that. That's perfect. They gave us the cables and I actually need them for not using it inside the car. That's really useful for me. Let's see what we have in here and how this thing looks like. A friend of mine actually has the same unit. I recommended it to him about a year and a half ago in his Volkswagen Lupo, and it's been working absolutely beautifully. That is why when I saw this, that we can get it for no money, I decided that's a perfect decision. And daughters will be able to play music from their phones, from radio, from USB drives, from SD cards, from whatever they want. We have here the whole pinout. So it has, I think both of them are inputs. That would be actually my logic, but we'll see about that. Maybe one is output. The RCAs, obviously it has antenna connection. We will be plugging an antenna into that. And in here, obviously a fuse, which is really good for even for our purpose. And yeah, we can connect wires. I think in this area we have the back of the power chip, and it's held in place onto this cooler all around. Modern amps at this low powers are highly efficient. No, just from factory. You are actually supposed to break those things away, just push through them if you need to get the unit out after it has been installed. They just are not broken away from factory, and you'll be left with basically just a hole in there, more or less. So it's perfectly fine. And now I think this is the direction we want to be putting in the key. Yes. And now it's released and you great, perfect. You could pull it out of the dash, but I realize now that the plastic frame is actually here to stay. It's part of it. Both keys in. Now you could actually pull it out of the dash. I don't know, but most likely I'm not going to be using this metal cage. My plan is to actually somehow turn this in some kind of a shelf right here next to the TV. The speakers will be above the TV. I will link the video in the description, but you should also be able to see them at the end of this particular video. But yeah, some 3D printing or other methods. And at the back of it, in the free space next to the wall, I will put the power supply, because we need 12 volt power for this. Basically, I'm going to turn it into this kind of shelf. As you can see, it's much thicker than a normal shelf, but still not thick enough to house this in. That was my initial thought. I can buy one of these from IKEA and modify it. Yeah, no, not thick enough. Interesting design. I will check the one that my friend has to see if it's also the same. Really weird, wasn't expecting that. This one can also charge your phone. That one is just to play music from. Yeah, anyway, simple. Let's connect some wires and power it on. This will be the power supply. It's extremely weak, so it's 48 watts. If you are taking just 2 channels at max 50 watts plus whatever the electronics it's actually using, I don't think this will ever go to max. If I see that this isn't doing its thing enough, I will get something beefier. But for the moment, at least for some testing, I think it's good. So let me see to which wires I need to connect the output of this fellow, and then connect some speakers and play a bit. Just want to point out something I noticed. These to me don't really behave like copper wires. They feel like they might be steel covered in copper, or a really freaking weird copper, because they are a bit too springy. The gray wires are front right, and this one that doesn't have a black line on it is positive, and I connected it to the square tube, to the square part of wire. This is round to negative, so I can keep my polarity all the way to the speakers. In here, this is front left. Again, the positive one connected to the square one, and the negative, actually, is that, yeah, this is the negative with a black, come on camera, with a black line on it, connected to the round one. You need to have same polarity in both of your speakers to have them in phase, otherwise they start cancelling each other. You don't really get bass anymore, and they don't sound good overall. Make sure your wires don't short. I'm doing this just for a quick test, so I'm going to do my best just to bend them out of the way so they cannot short each other. In here, negative it's on the outside, positive inside. Obviously I stripped the wire and jammed it in there. I think you can with the blue wire is antenna, so I'm not going to connect to the big one. I'm going to modify an old radio antenna to connect it to this one. And the red one is actually accessory that helps this thing start when you put the contact in your car and shut off when you take the key out of your car. But in our case, I don't care, we will be using the power button right here, so it will always stay on and shut it off by using this. We are connected to the speakers. This didn't want to power on the first time, so I decided to also connect the red in here. Maybe it's designed that way. And now I'm going to plug mains into this, and hopefully it will power on, but we'll see in a moment. Yes, and it did power on. So it really needs the red to be connected either directly to 12 volt or to accessory, but you cannot leave it unconnected. And now it's actually on. Bluetooth it's trying to connect. We have the radio, and I really like it doesn't have any weird colors, just this blue and that, and when you shut it off, it will go to a really dim time, which is perfect for a room. But now let's play something. Either I'm going to put something in here or on a stick, so we can give it a test. And then through Bluetooth obviously also. Plugged this and it started playing. Let me play with the settings a little bit. Let's fully peel this thing off. It's freaking annoying. And see what we get. From here you can change the bass. That's the max. I think we are in treble now. Balance one side or the other. That is working perfectly. Fader fully front, or we can change to rear, but we don't have rear, so I want the fader to fully front. Loudness, oh, I skipped over loudness, sorry about that. Fader, loudness, on. Okay, now it's better, but I need to go back to bass and actually decrease it because it was just too much. And how do you go to next? From this. I don't even remember what songs I have in here. Interesting. Okay, let me play with it. Do my best to set it up to play nicely with these speakers that I've just made colored as they are here, so I have no idea how they actually sound now, so I need to play a bit with the settings. I haven't played them on anything else. I went into equalizer. Where is equalizer? And we have a few variants. On flat, it was exactly as it says, flat. It times out really freaking quickly from equalizer, so it's a bit annoying. Oh, this is bad. Okay. I think rock is our best bet, and I need to cut a bit off the bass. Okay, if this doesn't overheat, and it doesn't seem to feel it now, it's not hot at all, it's like it's not even working. This goes up to 25 and then goes into quite a bit of distortion. So either this cannot keep up, or as many times with cheap devices like this, the numbers of the volume don't mean anything, and you really quickly go into distortion if you push it a bit too much. So yeah, there will be loud noise. I'm just going to show you how much the speakers move at 25. So that's decent power being put into them. Playing something else, the sound is, as you probably do expect, somewhat mediocre. I don't also know really how this sound on anything else. Before I painted them, they were, well, let's be honest, mediocre. Now they also sound mediocre. So yeah, that's what you get. But for kids' room to have some music playing, I think it's more than enough. Let me connect now through Bluetooth and see how that sounds. Radio, auxiliary, which is the rear, and Bluetooth. Wait a second, it also has auxiliary on the front. We need to read the manual. Maybe on the back they are just outputs for an amp or something. So we are in Bluetooth and we have this option right here, and we have this. Which one do I connect to? If I connect to this, pair. No, music not playing, so I need to connect to the other one to play music. Let's try again and connect to this fellow and see, pair. Played quite a bit through Bluetooth, HUDP profile, and it actually sounds better. It's, don't get me wrong, still mediocre, but with the mediocre speakers for a kid's room, or in your cheap car, if you don't have a stereo and want a cheap one in there just in case it gets stolen or something, you don't spend a fortune on it, this will do the job. So maybe this decoding isn't that great. Again, I feel like it's sounding better on Bluetooth. It's loud enough. I'm not really going above 25 in volume. If you would ask me if this thing is plugged in just by its temperature, I would say it's not. It's not even warm. It's like it's not even plugged in, but it's green and it's powering this. This on the back of it, it's warm. Maybe I would say 45 degrees or something like that. So it is doing its job, it's cooling it, it's enough for cooling. Yeah, cheap, no bells and whistles, has many types of connections. For me, that's good enough for the purpose of what we are building here. I just need a case for it and... what's the best material? What's the best material? Anyway, maybe I can... ask PCBWay if they can help with this and we make a nice case. That would be actually interesting. They do have 3D printing, CNC machining, and that obviously apart from all they do normally, which is PCBs of all kinds, PCB assemblies if you want to get your stuff directly assembled on a PCB. Whatever, flexible PCB, rigid flex PCBs, advanced PCBs, lots and lots of stuff. So maybe we can team up and make a case for this thing that can bolt onto the wall. And obviously when you are playing from something like this, it has the pause, play, repeat, random. All of that is right here. If you want to see the time while music is playing, everything is here. So all the simple things, and this can actually take calls through Bluetooth from your phone and act like Bluetooth hands-free. Basically, it has a microphone right here. Speakers will actually be the speakers, obviously. So, and you have to answer and close the call right here. So, yeah, this thing does it all. Really cheap. Quite mediocre, obviously, but does it all. And now let's also install the app. We are inside the app. Continue. Yes, allow. Will it connect? I think it actually did. Okay, interesting. Let me see what I can do with this. Okay, so this will take over as pause, play, and also next videos. For the player that you are using on your phone, you can also go to all of these things depending on rock, right? And loudness, tempo, tone. You can have here our current settings, so it's reading the settings from the unit itself. You have here vibrate. Okay. The languages, date and time. Oh, I think we can set the time actually of the unit. So it's 11. I can pick it up from my phone. Perfect. That's perfect. So it automatically network. Yeah, it automatically sets the phone, theme of the app, obviously. Okay. This is no real, no, I don't know. Music. We can change the input. So we go back. And obviously turn it off, and it just told me bye. Can I wake it up? My daughters are going to love this. You can wake it up. You don't even need to come and touch the button on the unit. You can wake it up from your phone. Okay. This is actually good. And yes, radio is also working. A really quick look at the manual. Feel free to pause at any time. I will not really stop for a read. It's a good enough product that we were actually able to figure out absolutely everything. And yes, you cannot edit the equalizer by yourself. You can only choose from pre-existent settings. And in here we are already going to a different language. So that's about it, more or less. Just want to quickly point out, it's actually 20 watts times 4, it's not 25. That's with a lot of distortions. So 20 watts or maybe even a bit lower in reality. And for the housing, here we are on PCBWay.com. We will go to 3D printing. I will upload my step file. It's giving us a preview of what we want to print. It's a simple housing with 2 holes that will attach to the wall. And a few other holes for wires and an antenna and stuff like that. So it's looking fine. From here, below quantity, it will be 1 part for me. I want it in nylon. I think PA12 is enough. I don't think I need anything with glass fiber and stuff like that. I might submit, let me see, actually, we can already see here in price. You can see with glass fiber it's a much higher price, and I don't think it makes any sense for what we are doing here. For the color, we can choose the surface finish, matte paint. The only thing, I don't see white in here. Maybe it's not available even here in all of the colors. I did not find white. So matte white might not be available. I'm going to attempt to write it here. I'm not sure if this will go through, honestly. If not, I can paint it white, no problem from my side. I have that, and I will just do my things in here if I need to select or anything, although I don't think so, and then simply click on submit request. And I think about 2 weeks later or something like that, our product has arrived. Let me just get rid of the papers. Okay, I'm really curious how it turned up. Just want to mention, packaging is quite good. This is double, so it's quite strong, but they still asked if they can add some internal bracing in the product, and I agreed, and I will rip them myself. Oh, this is nice. Yes, they told me that we will have some faint lines from the printing process. Absolutely no issue whatsoever for me. This is nice. Yeah, and you could imagine something like this without any sort of bracing. If the shipping company does something wrong, yes, it can bend. But did they actually not add it? They felt in the final moment that it was enough without bracing. Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, they didn't add bracing. So they felt the wall thickness was enough for this not to break in case of something, and it actually is. So it is flexible, but believe me, I am pinching this. You can see my finger is freaking white. I am pinching this really strong and it doesn't bend more than that. So this is quite a strong material and it's quite resistant to heat. Okay, I like this. I really like this. I will put it on the wall with 2 nice screws at the back of it. My cables can come out of this. Another cable will go in here. I will have an antenna poking out of here. This is really freaking nice. Thanks, PCBWay. I like it. And let's not forget about the bonus stickers. Sticker has been applied next to my workbench. And all of that will go in this, and they will sit on the wall like a shelf. And just as an idea, first trial, this fits in perfectly. Exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna paint the tips of the antenna before starting to install everything in the box, and I realized a bit of an error. I didn't make a hole for the cable, so I will use a Dremel to cut it out. And it's done. Initially I wanted to spray paint it, but then I realized, wait a second, I have these things. And I let the daughters choose. Eldest one painted this, youngest one painted this one. So yeah, perfect. Getting ready to attach this to the wall. I want to have my level like the shelf next to it. Position more or less right here. I'm not really sure exactly at that level with the bottom shelf, or I will go a bit like this. Probably a bit like this. Now just mark that on the wall, drill them and attach this. Holes are drilled, fastening elements pushed in. I will attach these things. Actually they are, which one is for which? I think like this. Yeah, I had two different ones, doesn't really matter, both will do the job, and I put some huge washer to spread the load on the housing. But before any of that I realized I made an error and forgot to make any sort of hole through which the antenna cable can go into the housing. I had the impression that the cable was coming through the end of this. Nope, on the side. So I'm going to use this, cut a slot right here somewhere so we can put the cable in. Well, it's in there, but it's like that. And I realized I should have made one of the rear holes a bit of a slot, not just a round hole, to allow me to adjust. Yeah, okay, I'm going to take it out and enlarge one of the holes. And it's on the wall, and it's incredibly sturdy. This isn't moving anywhere. It has just a bit of flex right in the middle, which is absolutely normal by the shape of it, but when the radio will be here locking this down, this, yeah, you can put whatever you want. This thing, cable will go in through the slot that I made. Final result is as good as I could hope for. Just put the antenna in place and it's absolutely perfect. Just make sure that cable slides in there. It's that tight that it literally doesn't want to slide in easily, but that's how I want it. And antenna is self-tightening in place. Absolutely perfect. Yay! And obviously this can be extended. And now let's see how well I measured. Perfectly. Haha. And obviously I'm going to put all the wires through that and then remake the connections, but now in a permanent way. For electrical connections, I'm soldering the wires and putting double heat shrink tubing on top, and I cut the power supply wire shorter. I don't want too much losses on it, and yeah, I don't plan to use it for something else anytime soon. And the unused wires bended on themselves and insulated them. And we have the connections right here. We have the power brick in there connected. Everything is absolutely fine. These are aluminum covered with a bit of copper, so really freaking hard to solder. These things, on the other hand, were perfectly easy to solder. So I decided to use this type of connection, and it actually allows me to replace the cables at any point in time if I need to for the speakers. So yeah, it's just fine, and there's plenty of room in there. Now what I'm trying to figure out, the antenna, it had something like that on it. Then I have one of these adapters for car radio, but obviously it did not plug into that. But I don't know also the impedance on this. I think it's called a balloon also or something like that. It's changing also the impedance, but was it 75 ohm on output? And without this it's 300 ohm, because in that case it's quite far away from what this needs. So I'm not sure if I can directly connect the antenna cables to this thingy and it will work normally, or I actually somehow need to figure out to connect the internals of that thing. Yeah, I'm going to play a bit with radio reception and see what I get out of it. And initially I thought I can actually connect the antenna directly to this. No, this is for power antennas, for the ones long ago that cars had that actually rose up when the car started and you played music. So yeah, this gives 12 volt, no way to connect it to anything like this, and it doesn't receive a signal, so we need to plug into that thingy via this. In your car, most likely you don't even need an adapter, but in case you do need one, it exists. But anyway, for me, in case you don't remember, this is not a car antenna, so I need to figure something out. Watch out, that thing isn't screwed down, it only holds on the PCB, and the PCB is quite flimsy. So for me, I needed to squeeze down on all of these fins to make it somehow fit a bit easier in there. But most likely still goes in a bit hard, so watch out for that. If you rip that from the PCB, you have a bad day. But as you can see, maybe in previous models they had some screws, something to hold it in place, but cost reduction. Well, yeah, it seems this worked the best. Tried with all other variants, connecting one like this, the other, and no, it wants both of them like this, basically both of them in use. I don't even need to extend them fully, they get a proper signal. So yeah, that's what we're going for at the end of the day, it seems. And it's soldered, so this will make contact forever. Now let's put a heat shrink on it to protect it properly. And we are almost finished. Everything is absolutely ready. Now I'm preparing to push them in there, and I put some foam on this. My plan is that the foam is exactly the right size to lock everything in place, and if I ever need to get it out, I can just unslide it, because normally you are pushing on it. Whatever you do, you are not pulling on it, so it will stay there absolutely perfectly by itself. Haha, small error. This is not a flat cable, and my initial plan was to just have it go under the unit because there was enough space, and my initial plan was to use this, which is much thinner. But then I found this at 90 degrees and I said, that looks nicer. No, need to get it out and put this, the original plan back in, because I didn't plan for this when I made the housing actually. Doubled up the layers of foam, the gap was bigger. I'm just wiggling it slightly and it's going in, and the foam will compress slightly from the pressure in time, so everything should be absolutely perfect. Was nobody gonna tell me that I was putting this thing in upside down? And finally, everything is absolutely done. I love it. It's perfect in my book. Exactly what I wanted, with two really nice antenna, custom color on them. Again, these are reused from a TV that my wife used to have when she was a child, basically. So there's that element. Cables tucked in with two little adhesive hands, like all the other cables in kids' room. This thing is auxiliary in, working perfectly. Yeah, but now let's cut the volume, because sorry, forgot, so I can give volume and put it on mute. It's absolutely perfect. So yeah, long video, but I would say it's worth it in the end. Thank you again, PCBWay, for this really nice shelf, basically, because this literally is a shelf. It has a bit of give in here, because again I have foam here, here, and on the other sides, pushing it, opening it. But that foam will slowly compress a bit in time, so this will be less in a while. Yes, I could adjust the foam to be less, but no, I want it tight in here so it cannot literally move by itself, but the shelf, it's freaking sturdy. So that's absolutely perfect. And yeah, literally I'm having that feeling. I don't know, when you have a long project, it ramps up and up and up, and then you have a really big push at the end, and then poof, you're done, you're finished. And I'm literally there, it's finished, and I'm thinking, is it actually finished, or did I forget something? No, I didn't, it's finished. Freaking awesome, it turned out absolutely perfectly, same level with everything, color matching this one in here, so it's an X, I have no idea, but I thought it will be cool that way. So yeah, that's about it. See you in the next video. Bye.